All right, have and have not fans. First of all, happy March. It is officially March 1st when I'm recording this video. And yeah, we have, what is it? About 2 months until the haves and have not. I might as well say three. It's only March 1st and the haves and have nots isn't coming back until, what is it? May 25th. So we got a while, but hey, the calendars keep turning. We'll be there soon enough. But before moving forward in this particular video, because it's been a while since I've done a have and have not topic, go ahead and hit the thumbs up thumbs up button to show you like the video. Also, go ahead and hit the bell notification icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post new content to the channel. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And please go ahead and hit subscribe. So this video, in no particular order, I just want to talk about 10 characters who I think, or should I say want, pretty much 10 people I hope get killed off in the final season. There are 8 episodes left. So the question is, who's going to make it out of this series alive? No, I still don't think we're going to get a proper ending. Just my opinion. I hope I'm wrong. But just looking at what they did with If Loving You Is Wrong, it just brings about a lot of questions as to whether or not one of the longest running and the, well, #1 show on the network will get the proper conclusion that fans deserve after years of support. So let's get into it. Just to let you know, Veronica, David, Jim, and Catherine are not on my list. I feel like those are the kind of characters where I don't think death would actually do them justice. When you're looking at somebody like Catherine Cryer, I don't think she's ever getting out of jail. I think she's going to be convicted of the murder and sent to prison. But at the same time, it might get to a point where she'll be like an angel behind bars where she'll try to help those who can't help themselves via her resources. Jim Cryer, Veronica, there are just so many characters where I don't think death is right for them. It just feels like more of a punishment for them to be alive and pay for their sins, whether it be through justice or things not working out. I mean, Jim, you know, if he doesn't even go to jail, he doesn't have money or whatnot. So maybe he'll finally be a father to his children by Celine, but I don't even think that's the case. But it's just one of those things where he loses it all, because it's ironic when you think about the beginning of the series where he was willing to throw everything away due to a midlife crisis and allegedly loving Candace. So he didn't give a damn. David, him and Hannah together, nah, I could do without that. And Veronica, if she dies, it will probably be because something backfires on her or one of her many enemies will kill her. But let's just talk about the 10 on my list. If there are any characters not listed, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Or if there are any characters on my list who you feel like, no, I want them alive, let's talk about it. So again, in no particular order, Justin, just kill the bastard. He set himself on fire at the end of the, what was it, the mid-season finale? Basically, the finale we got last month. Was it last month? Look, I know. Or was it December? Time freaking flies by. Hang on, February. I forgot. It was early 2021, I think. I want to be honest. I haven't thought about the haves and have-nots in a while, just because of the fact that we know the show's ending. The Oval is back. Sisters has, you know, and that's really ramped up. Sisters is back. So I just been focusing on other things. But whenever the show last left us, we know he set himself on fire. So kill the bastard. Let him die. Then we got another character on the chopping block, Wyatt. This guy has more lives than a cat. So I just feel like it's time to let him go. He talks about getting help and everything, but at the same time, the dude needs to be behind bars just as much as his mother to a certain extent. So I don't see the point of keeping Wyatt around. Sandy Malone, actually two-prong. I want to put Sandy and Vinny on this list because of the fact that, you know, Sandy's racist ass. I don't like that. The fact that, you know, he's so controlling. He's not afraid to speak up to like a black man or a black person in general and women. But at the same time, he's a little punk. Vinny, I don't want Vinny to die, but I feel like he's definitely someone who's in over his head. The way he's kind of, you know, ramping things up, turning up the heat for the Malone family, doing things. I feel like he he feels like he has a lot to prove because Mama Rose had been running the family for so long that, it's almost like Benny wants to step things up for no other reason to prove he's not Mama Rose. So I think he's going to get into some trouble that's going to end up killing him off as well. And Mitch might take over the family reluctantly. You never know. All right, so those were 4 right off the bat. Okay, let's do another 2-prong here. Oliver and Landon. I think that Oliver is just an unstable person by nature, and we know he gets down on coke and whatnot. And I feel like, he doesn't like Landon because he feels like Landon is a obstacle for him to get what he wants, which is like the right-hand man position of Charles as the president. And I feel like, Oliver constantly blames Landon when Oliver it's like whenever he gets chewed out by Charles or messes up, mostly it's because he's the one who did it. It's just like, Landon lets him, fly off the handle without saying anything. And then Charles just so happens to overhear and walk in at that very moment to tell him off. So it's not Landon's fault. But I just feel like we know Landon has his own security detail looking into Oliver and his activities. So I feel like once again, we might see a standoff between these two. I don't know. But I just feel like Oliver is very self-destructive. And I theorized this a while ago that, maybe Landon will sacrifice himself to save Charles or, Candace from being assassinated. So I just feel like, that could be the case. Or, Landon could mess around and try to screw around with the wrong straight man and end up like Maurice on Sisters. But there you go. So that's 6 characters. Next up, we have Laura, who is the body double for Veronica. We know that Veronica is kind of plotting for her to die in order to escape the wrath of the Hood, as well the would-be assassin that was sent by Jim Cryer, we know, Akil. So Laura, I have no doubt, will probably die. But once again, we only got 8 episodes left, and at the pace that the story is moving, it really brings about a lot of questions like, will Laura die in the series finale? And then from there, Veronica will just escape to live another day. Now, if you've watched an amazing cartoon back in the day on, what was it, Disney XD or whatever, The Spectacular Spider-Man, which unfortunately was canceled after season 2. Norman Osborn was revealed to be the Green Goblin in the finale, and he ended up flying straight into a container of pumpkin bombs. Or what do you call those things? The water tower. Yeah, water tower full of pumpkin bombs, and allegedly died. But in the very last scene, we see Norman Osborn, with blonded hair in a disguise, getting on the plane, and it's like, he's alive. I feel like the same kind of thing will happen to Veronica, where Laura will die, and people will think Veronica's dead. But then at the final scene of the series will be Veronica revealing her survival and just, starting over a new life or something like that. That's what I think. Next up, we got Tanner, who is Justin's brother. And remember, Justin was the first person on my chopping block. And we know that he's going to arrange for Colby to be brought over to Veronica's house and allegedly beaten or burned or whatever the hell is Veronica's plan. I feel like something, again, is going to backfire. He's going to get killed. I just feel like anybody who works for Veronica at one point or not, there's nothing more than pawns. We know that Veronica doesn't look at people more than anything as beneath her or pawns or sex objects, and that's about it. So I feel like Tanner, what's his story anyway? Especially if Justin really is dead after, burning himself to death. I just don't see the point of Tanner. So him being dead wouldn't surprise me. Next up, Colby. Is it necessarily that I want him to die? It's just that I feel like Jeffrey said you signed your death warrant the moment you told my mom, Colby Willis, basically revealing your name pretty much put you in a position to be on the chopping block. So Colby did it to his damn self when he told Veronica who he was, underestimating her, which is something you should never do. And finally, this might seem a bit controversial, but then again, there are people like me who have wanted this for a while. Benny Young. It's just one of those situations where it would really hurt Hannah for her son to die, but he's just been making awful choices for so long. Not as long as Candace, but he's been pissing off the wrong people, whether it be the Malones, Jim Cryer specifically. And, Veronica's had some wrath against him a few times, but apparently one of the best lovers she's ever had, so she lets it go here and there. It just seems like Benny... Would it be fair if Benny dies, but not Candace, considering Candace has years of bad choices under her belt, whereas Benny doesn't, but at the same time, he makes dumb decisions? Again, comic book reference, if you watch the Flash TV show, you got to look at how Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash, travels through time a lot. And he knows the ins and outs and the rules of time travel, so he's able to avoid penalties like the time race or, the black racer killing him. Whereas Barry Allen, who hasn't time traveled as much as Thawne, but at the same time, he screws up a lot. So his handful of time travel shenanigans have led to him being punished multiple times, whereas Thawne has done it way more times, but he hasn't been punished as much. So as you can see, the comparison is, would it be right for Benny to die but not Candace? I feel like more people want Candace to have that happy ending, having a baby with Charles, being the first lady, whereas Benny is like, you kept this money, you pissed off the wrong people, you need to die. Yeah, makes sense to me. So it really seems like Benny might die. So again, just to kind of go over a quick count, the 10 people who I think / want to die in the final season: Justin, Wyatt, Sandy, Vinny, Oliver, Landon, Laura, Tanner, Colby, Benny. So if there's anybody else on this list who you want to add, characters you want to swap out, let me know. Thanks so much for tuning in. And with that being said, I'll catch you in the next episode, or the next video. Sorry. And yeah, if you want to donate, feel free to do so on PayPal, Cash App, or Patreon.